So welcome again, Dr. Dean.
Venzel, welcome back, guys.
Yeah, so Venzel had this great idea. And this is something I talk about all the time. We wanted to discuss athletic readiness
Yeah.
and athletic awareness and sort of what the difference
Between the
is.
two. Yeah.
And also like sort of that criticalness of having that be part of the training.
Exactly.
Because
yeah.
there's a lot of, so let's say, besides those two topics, let's say as a coach or, athletic trainer or even, even as a physio or PT, right? So where are the main go-tos when you're thinking about like steering your athlete in the right direction?
So what are the go-tos? You would say making sure they're properly cued, making sure they're in alignment for the sport-specific movement. You want them in proper alignment. So even the setup, as well as the cueing, and yeah, I would say those two for sure.
Okay, so I think of motor patterning, like doing drills that are maybe global drills, like just good endurance type training, breath training, make sure you're getting enough oxygen, doing, motor movements such as just like good squats, things like that. I think that's probably the most popular topic. When you think about athletics, people think about the motor part of it, the muscle action part of it, the movement part of it, right? And then I just want to make a point quickly before I forget, and that is about setup, right? So a lot of times, even when the athletes are just doing their training, like their side training or like preparation training, which is different than the application, right?
Exactly,
So basic training isn't like if you're a tennis player, you don't just play tennis till you fall over. There's the training that goes behind the tennis specific training.
Like the conditioning.
Right. And then there's this, so that's that setup, which is kind of the consciousness of, like you said, am I in alignment? What's happening right now? Like I'm the athlete. What am I about to do?
Exactly.
What's my goal here? Just to win, even if I get injured, right? So when you said setup, automatically like that tied into me, awareness, right? And readiness. And so for me, I sort of break those down, like before I do a training or if I talk to even an injured athlete and I say, okay, so we're going to go, so my thing is tennis. So we're going to go on the court and we're going to talk about your forehand swing. I want to see what that looks like. So they just do it. And I said, well, what's the setup? And they said, well, what do you mean? So what's your preparation
to get into that
before you do the swing? There's some space and time there. What's happening there? I don't know. I'm just thinking I'm going to swing my forehand.
Yeah.
So when we think about readiness and awareness, I think of awareness as being my understanding of everything around me, the environment. What's my awareness, right? So we're talking about athletics. So let's take an example of being, let's say on a field, a soccer field.
Yeah.
Or a football field. Let's say soccer, because soccer's just, I just love soccer. Anyway, that's a different conversation. So my awareness is, where are my teammates?
Exactly.
Where are my opponents? What is the position that I play? What's my territory? What's going on with the weather? Where's the sun? Right? What's the temperature like? How do I feel today? What's my environment? That's my awareness, are the cues from what is around me. My readiness is what's happening uniquely within me.
Yeah.
What is the state of my focus? What are my gazing points? What are my targets? How am I choosing that? So that's the way I do it. I kind of break it down into awareness is everything around me, and readiness is me here in this place right now. My personal goals, right? So what is it for you?
So for me, tying in actually similar to what you said, so dealing with proprioceptive cues that I'm paying attention to.
Yeah.
So making sure that if I plant and I'm going to turn, I know where my opponent is. I know where my teammate is. So say for instance, take soccer. If I need to pass or if I need to make a little dazzling move, get the defender off me, then make a pass. So that has to do with being paying attention to the proprioceptive cues. So that's what being ready and aware is for me. So.
Right. So then the reason why we bring this, we just could talk endlessly.
Yeah.
Right. And so we like to break things down. We're both very critical thinkers, but we also, because we do a lot of body work, work with athletes, we're also, and we just talked about this before, is there's a difference between critical thinking and clinical reasoning.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's missing from coaching. So clinical reasoning, so we both believe that you don't wait till the athlete is injured before they get in front of somebody like us.
Treatment, yeah.
Right? Don't wait till they're injured. So we can't say we're going to prevent injury, but the whole idea of core recruitment is certainly, one of those foundational level, right?
It's being proactive instead of reactive.
Right. So clinical reasoning means that your athlete is getting advice for performance, but if I'm on a court teaching a forehand and there's and I'm a doctor, right? And then there's a coach over here teaching this forehand also. That coach isn't looking for the same faulty motor patterning that I'm looking for. Yeah. And I'm not saying just plain tennis coaching, has this problem, but I've seen this. And what I see is that they want their student to hit it over the net and they want the ball to be in. And so those are the parameters for the stroke. And what I'm looking for is injury prevention. So what I'm looking for is how are they moving, and are they moving in such a way that they can perpetuate that skill? And I don't care if the ball goes over the net. I don't care if it's in, because that day is going to come.
Yeah.
But the readiness and awareness has to be there, right? That clinically, is that a clinically potentially destructive stroke? Right?
An accumulation of micro traumas, and then now you have a summation of a traumatic injury.
Right.
So addressing that, it's more important to address that faulty movement pattern, because in the end, once they get, say if you're dealing with amateur athletes, that is just going to become even a more critical issue, because they're going to get stronger, they're going to get faster, and then that's going to be more stress on the joint or the tissue if it's in a faulty plane of movement.
Right. So, and that's a good point. Getting stronger and faster with a faulty motor pattern that hasn't been ever identified, right, or addressed, but then they see, oh, the athlete is winning, right? They play golf and they can continuously win, but they're not winning. They're winning through a faulty motor pattern that's going to, like you said, did you hear him say it? Subthreshold micro traumas. I'm so glad he said that, because that means he's getting on board with the whole idea, right? But I really like that. And that's, I think, what's missing is that clinical reasoning. It's being able to visualize your athlete tomorrow, in a month, in 6 months, in a year, and is their performance the right setup in order for them to be able to elevate their
performance, their game.
Right. And I think there's this idea that in order to become more elite, you just practice those refined, you hone in on those skills, those very high level refined skills, when in fact the best way to become elite is to go to the bottom and address, core stability, is core activation there, test for it, and when you find out that there isn't any, you know why that athlete can't move up, because the foundation can't push them up higher.
Exactly.
Their foundation is poor, never has been addressed. So all these attempts at becoming more elite continue to fail. Yeah. So I would say the key message, even though we were going to talk about readiness and awareness, key message I got from this, and because these conversations are also very spontaneous, is setup, which is what you said, proprioception, which I totally forgot to talk about, and then this idea, the sub-threshold microtraumas really need to be understood before they even happen, to be able to see those and address those.
Yeah.
That's really fun. Thank you for joining us again. Please, like we always say, email us if you have questions. Check us out on the other social media platforms. Definitely go to see us, to our website, preformancecxs.org, or check out CoreX System anywhere online, and you'll find us. Dr. Dean, thank you so much.
Venzel, guys, see you later.